Hi. So now let us discuss separate entity concept. The name of the concept appears to be self-explanatory because when you say entity, it represents company or a proprietor firm or the partnership firm. So this is separate from the owner, or you can call it as an investor. So how can the company be separate from the owner? Yes, it can be only from the accounting perspective. From the accounting viewpoint, the company, that is the entity, is different from the owner. Because the entity, when it gets the business, rather, when it gets registered, it attains a legal status, and therefore it is called artificial person. So this artificial person is separate from the natural person. Yeah, correct. So now this, why we have to account from the artificial person point of view. See, if you are going to account from the natural person point of view, it means you're maintaining the books of that person, personal books of accounts. So you're going to account only from the artificial person viewpoint. So let us say this natural person invests some money into the business, that is the company. So then it becomes capital for the company. That is from the viewpoint of this artificial person, because it has its own identity, which it has obtained through a legal formalities. So now, when the company receives some money from this natural person, who is the owner or the investor, so that becomes a capital for the company. So therefore, the capital appears on the liability side because it has to repay that to the natural person. So when the amount is withdrawn from the company by the natural person, so that becomes a drawings to the company. Therefore, drawings appear in brackets, that is in the negative figure below the capital. So this is the amount recoverable from the owner or the investor. So now there may be a question as to, although the natural person, let's say in the case of proprietor, although the natural person is the sole beneficiary of all the profits or loss resulting from the artificial person, then what is the harm in including all the personal expenses of the natural person? So let us say the personal expenses, we're going to include personal transactions, we're going to include along with the business expenses and business income, right? So let us say this is the business expenses and business income, and we are going to club all the personal expenses of the proprietor into the business, because the owner says anyways the resulting profit or loss, I'm the sole beneficiary, and therefore there is no harm in including the personal expenses. So let us try doing that. Let us say if we include the personal expense and loss, the resulting profit or loss, okay, you will not be able to make out this profit is because of the personal transaction of the owner, or is this profit is because of the business expenses or business transaction. It's because of the business transaction. So therefore, you need to keep this away from the business accounting, so to identify the performance of the business alone. If you need to know the performance of the business, then you need to keep all the personal expenses of the personal transactions of the owner or the natural person away from the business accounting. So therefore, you get to see only the business transactions under the company name, and therefore, at the end of the specific period, maybe at the end of the year, you'll be able to make out the performance of the business. So this is the reason why we keep the artificial person and the natural person separate as far as the accounting is concerned. Okay, so now There is also another question why profit appears on the liability side of the balance sheet. Right? It appears on the liabilities. Profit a liability to the company. Yeah, profit is a liability to the company because of the separate entity concept. So why profit appears on the liability side? Because what is the activity of the artificial person? The activity of the artificial person is to run the business and repay the profit back to the investor. So therefore, the profit has to be returned to the owner or the investor, and therefore the profit appears on the liability side of the balance sheet. Okay, so this is what is separate entity concept. So if you have any questions, you may please leave your questions down in the channel. Okay, thank you very much for watching the video.